how it feels here. I thought I'd upload another video here. I just finished watching Ip Man. What an amazing man. He really did some incredible things. And the thing is that when you watch a movie like that, do you just go, wow, what a cool guy? Or do you say, oh shit, I have to do that? That is what I say. I understand those kinds of Gandhi sacrifices, and that I'm responsible to do those things, because I have the heart to do it. Those movies aren't, whoa, so cool. It is, I'm gonna have to give that sort of sacrifice. It's rather terrifying to those who understand what will happen to them. I love what Augmandino says. He says, Hafid says, see, the poor only think, the only difference between me and a poor man is that the poor thinks only of his next meal, and I think only of the meal that will be my last. What a difficult thing to think about every day. Is today my last meal? What a challenge. Indeed. What a daunting reality. And those who know their future can have a little bit less anxiety today. Those who understand the laws of reality which govern our existence, we know that today is not the last, and we shall live it as if it is. So, what would you do on your last day on Earth? Go skydiving? Ride a blinding lightning? Right? Or teach others? This is what I choose. For an old man who plants a tree when he shall never experience shade is the only reason we ever live. So if young men learn to plant trees everywhere they go, there will be not only a lot of shade, but a jungle. And in the jungle, he who plants the trees knows the various paths and traps which lie therein. Therefore, Ip Man knew the trap he had laid for himself. He knew the entire plot of the film as it unraveled. Donnie Yen understands how Ip Man would think. This is why he chose the role in Rogue One of a man who also knew the plot in his film. He was calm and collected. He is one with the Force. Of all men who are alive that I should like to meet, it is not Donnie Yen. No, I wish he could impart his wisdom to others. Men like he and I, yes, we would indeed be dear friends, but his path is different. Denzel, Keanu, Simon Cowell, Gordon Ramsay. These are the types who need not meet each other. Rather than going to live in a famous place, why not live among lay people? Build your own city that you'll never participate in. Is this not a better way to employ your greatness? To bloom where planted? Instead of going to make it rich in the big city? I'd much rather be a bishop in my church, which is a director of a congregation, than a prophet who has to direct an entire church. And I'd rather be a choir director than a bishop. Because the choir director does not need to employ discipline. He encourages his members to discipline themselves. Thus, preaching to the choir allows them to minister to the congregation. Going after the one is indeed the choir director's job. If I were Jesus, I would come as a bard, as a musician. I do believe he is on earth today. I believe that I have seen him, or those who know him. He keeps them very close. Would you know him if you saw him? Would you, really? Would you walk up and shake his hand? Or would he be too weird for you? He is logical. Are you? All the way through. Is every choice of yours dictated by logic? No. You're only human, right? Or are you perfect, even as he is? I do not know if I am or not. All that I know is that I seek logic, and it drives me to seek him. For if is good, if indeed he does have all truth and wisdom, then I should seek to learn from him rather than instruct him. I don't understand why God would do this. Well, duh, you're not a god. If you don't understand it, seek to understand it. Don't tell God he's wrong. Well, God doesn't act like I would, so I think God isn't God. And that's a God complex. Do you realize that? Well, if God doesn't match my definition of God, he doesn't exist. So, okay, you're smarter than the Christians, but you don't believe in a supreme intelligence. Therefore, you can't be that supreme intelligence. So you aren't smarter than the Christians, you're exactly the same. That's just logic. That's applying your own logic. Look, supreme intelligence doesn't exist. Therefore, you aren't that supreme intelligence. Therefore, you aren't supreme to anyone. And if supreme intelligence doesn't exist, intelligence doesn't exist because it learns. So, you don't believe in agency. You don't believe in free will. You believe in deterministic and therefore no good or evil. Therefore, God can't be evil because he's just following set rules. That in turn wouldn't make him good if all he does is preserve life. So, your illogical statement, when applied to itself, proves God yet again. Here I am just talking about me, and God is proved yet again at the end of my video. Are you going to learn, or does intelligence not exist? And if intelligence doesn't exist, do hierarchies of intelligence exist? And if hierarchies of intelligences exist, where are you on that hierarchy? And if you are smarter than the Christians, why don't they worship you? You gotta ask why, you gotta question. You can't just believe wanton authority of a supreme being that tells you to ask him when you lack wisdom. If anyone lacks wisdom, tell God he's fake. What a great universal axiom. Please do that. I don't believe you're real. You haven't even seen my video. I've never seen you, let alone your brain or any sign of intelligence. I'm looking for intelligent life on Earth. Can you show it to me, please? It shouldn't be that hard.